Dust choked the town of Purgatory Creek. 60 days without a drop. Crops withered. Tempers boiled hotter than the noon sun. Folks gathered in the dusty square, eyes scanning the empty, brassy sky. Desperate, ready to believe anything. That's when Professor Phileas Boom rolled into town. Tall man, fancy vest, wagon full of strange contraptions, copper wires, glass jars, a big brass funnel pointed skyward, called himself a meteorological engineer. A rainmaker. Promised rain within 24 hours. For $500. Half the town scoffed. The other half, well, they were desperate. $500, Mayor Higgins sputtered. That's everything we got. No rain, no pay, Professor Boom declared, puffing out his chest. In fact, if that sky ain't weeping by sunrise tomorrow, you can run me out on a rail, some folks added, or hang him, under their breath. The deal was struck, a gamble born of pure desperation. That afternoon, the professor put on his show. He mixed fizzing powders in jars, cranked handles that made sparks fly, chanted strange words at the sky through his brass funnel. The townsfolk watched, mesmerized, wanting to believe. The sky remained stubbornly clear. Doubt began to creep back in. Night fell, hot, still, silent. Professor Boom packed his wagon, ready for a quick exit if needed. He kept glancing nervously at a small, almost invisible wisp of cloud far to the west he'd noticed earlier. His real weather forecast, a long shot, a gambler's prayer, then a drop, then another. A light sprinkle began to fall. Not much, barely enough to wet the dust. But it was rain. The town erupted. Cheers echoed through the night. People ran outside, faces turned up to the meager drops like a blessing. It wasn't a downpour, but it was something. The professor collected his $500 as the light sprinkle continued, tipped his hat with a grand flourish, and rode out of town just before dawn, leaving behind a town giddy with relief. An hour later, the real storm hit. The heavens opened. Thunder cracked. Rain lashed down in sheets, soaking the thirsty earth, filling the creek, saving the town. The professor's little sprinkle was nothing compared to this deluge. Standing in the glorious downpour, Mayor Higgins looked towards the trail the rainmaker had taken. He fingered the damp $500 bill he'd almost regretted paying. Was Professor Boom a fraud? A charlatan who got lucky? Maybe. But he'd done something no one else could. He hadn't just brought rain. He'd brought hope when it mattered most. And sometimes hope is the only miracle you need. Sometimes hope arrives before the storm. Subscribe for short Western stories.